The trial begins, and everybody has their popcorn and they are ready, okay? What it is, what it ain't, it's your girl Ombre Alert, and I am back with another video, okay? In today's video, we're just gonna get right into it because I'm ready. I miss you guys. I'm ready to get into it. We're gonna be talking about OJ. Yes, we are gonna be talking about his trial, his career, the whole thing. We're gonna talk about the time period in which the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman occurred. We're going to do it all. So if you're ready to hear about this, but hear it from me, you know, you've heard about this story countless times from countless other people, but you haven't heard it from me, okay? If you're ready to get into this video, make sure that you stay tuned to what I'm about to say. Make sure that you like, you comment down below, interact with me. I do reply, answer back. Let's get this conversation going. Let's subscribe to this channel. Let's get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. Let's do this, okay? Like, we can do it all. You know, as long as I have y'all, it's nothing stopping me, okay? So let's do this, all right? So, let's get into the video. Okay, O.J Simpson, aka Orenthal, which I don't think that's a really good first name. Orenthal James Simpson was born July 9th, 1947. He was born like right in the midst of Jim Crow. Jim Crow started like 1950s, 60s, so he was born right into like a systematically like racist, you know, world. You know, that's how he was, you know, raised. He was raised in the segregation of whites and blacks. So, you know, when you're raised in that type of era, it's like you just have this notion or this feeling towards white people specifically that, you know, it's not so open-minded, if you will. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. But he was a football player. He was known for his speed and his energy, of course, his personality. He was from LA, I believe, California. He played for San Francisco City College. Then he went to USC. And he, of course, broke records with those football teams from 1967 to 1968, okay? So his nickname was Juice, you know what I'm saying, because of his energy, his speed, and also because his initials for his name, OJ, is like orange juice or whatever. Same thing. But also, I want you guys to keep in mind that in the black community, having the juice or juice means like you've killed somebody, or, you know, basically it means like you killed somebody or somebody's, okay? Maybe a lot of black people back then didn't keep that in mind. He was the #1 draft pick in that year, and then he also played for the Buffalo Bills in 1969, going to the NFL. Quickly into his career, or a couple years later, he actually got traded to the 49ers, and then he got a knee injury in 1978, so he had to retire in 1979. So he had probably like maybe a 8 or 9 year career in the NFL, which is, you know, pretty noble. He retired in 1979, and then he went on to actually be a sports commentator, and then he was in movies, and he just became like an overall star after that because he was in movies, and, you know, he was actually good at acting, and, you know, he was seen as like the all-American black like hero, especially for the black community, growing up in this racist, you know, environment, you know, just being like a face for black people, black boys, black girls, you know what I'm saying? Just the black community in general just loved OJ. And even worse for things that we're going to talk about going further. He was in the Pro Bowl Hall of Fame in 1985. He got married to Nicole Brown Simpson, and then they actually had kids, and then after that they got a divorce, and quickly after that she ended up dead. Okay, so we're gonna get into all of that right now. On 12, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson was stabbed to death outside of her home in Los Angeles. Okay, this was big coverage, big deal. I mean, you know, she lived in a really nice house. You know, she got some money after that divorce, you feel me, from OJ. And oh my God, like this story, this happening, it was a big deal. I also want you guys to keep in mind that around the time that OJ was, coming into himself as a man, being in football, starting to go to college, that was when Malcolm X was murdered in 1965. And then Martin Luther King was assassinated as well in 1968. So a lot of things were happening as he was born and then as he was growing up that made him probably just want to be successful so bad, you know what I mean? He wants to be in control. And that's, unfortunately, that's why a lot of black men pick white women's, because they like to be in control, they like to dominate. Not all black men, I love my black men, so I don't want, like, some of y'all be tripping, okay? I'm not talking about all black men, I'm talking about some. Some black men do choose women of other races because they know that black women are going to put their foot down and not allow them to be treated like shit. Well, actually, at the scene of the crime, there was a bloody glove. There was blood everywhere. Actually, Nicole Brown Simpson was almost beheaded. Like her head was like dangling off of her body when she was discovered, and like right in the outside of her house. Ron Goldman was actually stabbed to death as well. So, and that was a friend of hers, but, it might have been a boo thing, a friend, but I don't know. So I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? But he was a friend, he was a boo thing or whatever, but I think he probably was a boo thing, but it doesn't matter because she was single, she, was divorced, yada, yada, yada. Just before her murder, she was actually at a restaurant, and that's a restaurant that Ron Goldman actually worked at. And apparently he drove her home from the restaurant in a car that OJ had bought her. So I'm sure if things that were happening within their marriage and afterwards are true, then I'm sure OJ was watching and was, looking at her and watching how she was moving, and he wasn't too keen on that. Within their marriage, there was said to be some physical abuse towards Nicole Brown Simpson. She was getting bruised up. I'm not sure if any police reports were filed, but sometimes that's how it is in marriages. It's almost like when you're getting abused, you still want to protect the person that is hurting you. It's like you don't want to call the police or file charges against them. And hey, like, it just comes with that, like, being brainwashed, like being emasculated by a man. That kind of happens sometimes, unfortunately. Was said to be a lot of abuse. I think some of her family members did notice she was getting abused and wanted her to leave. And I'm sure, like, her finally getting a divorce and thinking that she was doing a fresh start and moving on was, like, the happiest time of her life. And unfortunately, I believe that he just took that away from her. He took her life away because he didn't want her to be happy without him in it. Moving forward, we're going to get into what happened after their bodies were discovered and found. So 4 days later, of course, the police named OJ a prime suspect because he is a recent ex, and we all know how exes get once you leave. Most exes, they get jealous. They get, almost obsessive, especially if you've been together for a long time or you had kids. Like, a lot of exes act a little crazy, you feel me? He was an immediate suspect. That's just the way it goes. Whether you're a husband or ex-husband, you're immediate suspect. Especially because their divorce was fresh. So this case was so huge because it came right after, like, the Rodney King case that happened, where Rodney King was assaulted and beaten by several police officers in LA. And it was actually the first time, or one of the first times, that police officers were filmed actually attacking a black man. So it was a big deal. That was like a big deal in 1994. It was actually taped. Like, it happened all the time, but this was like the first time that it was video evidence that it happened. Then there were LA riots that broke out right after that because the officers were acquitted of the charges of battery against Rodney King. So it was a lot of tension in LA and in Watts and all of these black communities. It was a lot of tension going on. So then this happened, and you know, naturally a lot of black people just thought that OJ was innocent and that he was being framed, and you know, he had a white wife, and it was a lot of racial tension against that. And I'm sure a lot of black people didn't care if he killed her or not. I think they just wanted him to get away with it because of what was going on during the time, which isn't right, you know what I'm saying, which isn't justice. That's not justice. Like, we shouldn't want somebody to get away with something just because he black. Like, if the glove fits, then the glove fits, okay? 4 days after her murder, he was charged with double homicide, as he should. And this stunt comes out of nowhere where he gets in a car, his friend is driving, he's on the phone with 911, and he's claiming that he's going to kill himself. So he literally has a gun to his head. He's driving on the damn highway. It's a whole big scene, you feel me? It's on TV, it's on the news, it's on every station. 95 million people are watching him do this. So he is in the backseat of the car with the gun to his head. Like, nobody ever forgot that, you know. I was just born in 1994, so it wasn't me that didn't forget. But hearing about this story is like, what? He rode around on the highway for an entire hour as millions of people watched him on TV, and until he felt like stopping the car at his home just to get arrested anyway. So it's just a whole big scene that he had caused. Not blind eyes, it just looked like sheer guilt, or you know, just something to get his name like being said. I think he's just the type of person where he just like when people say his name, like he just likes himself a little bit too much, if you ask me. January 24th of 1995. So months go by, you know, he is of course arrested at his home, but he can place bail because he got money, you know what I'm saying? So he is out of jail, but he still has the trial to go through. So January 24th, 1995. So a couple months later, in the new year, the trial begins, and everybody has their popcorn and they are ready, okay? So the prosecution's whole point that they wanted to prove is that there was domestic abuse within their marriage and after their marriage that would lead him to murder her and an alleged boyfriend or friend slash friend, you know what I'm saying? And that was the motive behind the murder. So then the defense, they claimed that the evidence was being mishandled and tampered with. They also claimed that the LA Police Department had racial motive and that they were planning evidence to try to frame OJ. Um, some of that can be a stretch, but a lot of it was true. A lot of the evidence at the scene of the crime was being tampered with, not on purpose, but it's just like a lot of stupid things happen. Like the police officers were walking on grounds, walking in the blood. It was just a lot of stupid things that were happening during this case that made the evidence tampered with. And you know, a lot of the police officers didn't have gloves when they were touching things and things like that. Like, it was a lot of stupid things that were happening. So a lot of the defense's claims were actually true, sad to say, including the LA Police Department actually being racist. It was facts, you know. It was 1994. It was a lot of stuff going on. And because of what happened before this trial, it actually proved everything that they were saying to be true. So in actuality, this case was so easy to get away with because of the time. And that's why I feel like he used the black community as an excuse, because there would have been no way he would have been able to get away with it had it not been for the Rodney King issues that happened just before that in the LA riots, without there being the assassination of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Days before this happened, those assassinations of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. happened. So, you know, it was a lot. You know, like I said, he did grow up in Jim Crow as well. So it's like, how could you not prove that the LA Police Department was corrupt and was racist. It was just facts, you know. So it's like the defense, they didn't even have to like even talk about the murder, because they were talking about the police department and they were talking about evidence towards the murder. And you know, basically saying that he didn't do it, especially when they included the glove, and that when he like fake struggled to put it on, like, that was annoying to me. That was so annoying, because who takes that long to try to put a glove on, honestly? And it was just, that whole thing was like deliberate. That whole thing was just, it was a lot of like anticipation that went into this, and a lot of things were just a lot. It was just a lot of cringy stuff going on. Because of the times, like I said, most black people thought he was innocent, and most or all black people thought he was innocent. And then the white people, of course, thought he did it. I think they think he did it for the wrong reasons, because he was black and, you know, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, jealousy is big. It's big. It's a big deal. I think that he did do that. On top of, I feel like a lot of things led up to him actually killing him. I think it was jealousy. I think it was him mad that he had to pay her anything from the divorce. He probably, of course, like a lot of black people, a lot of us grow up poor, and it's like once we get to that level of success and someone comes along and, you know, tries to take it away, it's like that makes us enraged. And I'm in no way saying that he's justified for killing her. That's absolutely not what I'm trying to say. But I am trying to give a perspective as to why he would, or why anybody would kill someone. Or, you know, you just have to be pushed far enough, you know. A lot of us like normal, regular people, we can't be pushed that far to actually kill somebody. I think that's a lot. Like, you could hate somebody, be really upset with somebody, distance yourself from that person, and just move on with your life. But to actually kill them says a lot about you. And he was very, very narcissistic and arrogant, and just, you know, because he was a celebrity, I feel like he just felt like he could get away with anything. October the 2nd, 1995, the jury had their verdict. It took them 4 hours to deliberate, but they did have a verdict, and they delayed it to the next day. So October the 3rd, 1995, he was found not guilty. I'm actually going to insert the clip of his reaction to his own verdict, and I think it's a little eye-opening. So why don't you guys just take a look.
All right, Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury? Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information. Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in count 2 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, further find the special circumstance that the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, has in this case been convicted of at least one crime of murder of the first degree and one or more crimes of murder of the first or second degree to be not true. Signed this second day of October 1995, Juror 230. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict? So say you one, so say you all.
Yes. All right, counsel, Mr. Simpson, would you be seated, please? Let's have it quiet in the courtroom, please. All right, Mrs. Robertson, would you please poll the jurors?
Juror number 1, As to count one, is this your verdict? Juror number 2, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 3, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 4, as to count 1, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 5, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 6, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 7, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 8, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 9, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 10, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 11, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 12, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Okay, count 2.
Okay, now that you've seen that, that was cringy in of itself. I mean, I could see that he was shocked. Like, the look on his face was like what? Like, what? He was shocked. He was shocked. Like, I could see the look on his face. I could see the look on Robert Kardashian, Kim Kardashian daddy. I could see the look on his face. He looked like, what the fuck? Like, how is he getting away with this? Like, how? How is he getting away with this? Like, he did it. Like, it was that bad. Like, you know you gotta be a good lawyer if you're representing someone that you know killed somebody. And you really trying to, like, get them off. Like, that's terrible. It's kind of like how to Get Away with Murder, the TV show. Yes, so he was found not guilty. As you can see in that video, of course, Ron Goldman's mother and father are distraught, as they should be, because, you know, if you want to be honest, like, he had nothing to do with it. Like, he was just her friend. Even if he was a boyfriend or whatever, it's still, y'all divorced. They was divorced. They wasn't together, her and O.J. So for him to get killed, of course, in the crossfire is just sad. And for him to murder the mother of his children is really, really sad. Like, for him to put that type of pain on his own kids really shows just that he don't care about nobody but himself, you know. And he was found not guilty, and then after that, Ron Goldman's family, as well as Nicole Brown Simpson's family, filed civil suits for wrongful death against O.J., and they did one. So he had to pay the families $33 million, $33.5 million to be exact. In my opinion, to get some of that money back that he was giving, he wrote a book with Pablo F. Fiennes, I think that's how you say it. I apologize if that's not right. But he made a book called If I Did It, talking hypothetically about the murder if he would have killed his wife and Ron Goldman, how he would have did it. And in bankruptcy court, because he had to file bankruptcy, the book was for sale or whatever. I don't know how that actually goes. But Ron Goldman's family won the rights to the book in bankruptcy court, so they released it in 2007 for everyone to see, because in their opinion it was proof that he, you know, he's a psychopath. I mean, to write a book about if you would have killed them is really ridiculous. And it was, you know, it helped their defense too. Like, look, he's crazy. Like, he's literally crazy, and he won't let it go. And he's still trying to capitalize off of killing his own wife. Like, how crazy could you be? Quickly after that, because he, in my opinion, he was just destined for jail. If you didn't, after this, after hearing this, how could you think that he did not kill his own wife? Like, how could you not? Because he could not stop. It's like he had to be in the limelight. Like, he could not stop. So he was arrested for armed robbery and kidnapping later and found guilty. So the whole kidnapping and armed robbery thing was, I think he was someone was trying to sell some memorabilia of his. That's what he claimed, and he was trying to get it back. I don't think that was it. I don't think that that's the truth. I think that, because he's a liar. So I think that he probably was trying to sell his own memorabilia, and the person didn't have the right price that he wanted for it or whatever. Because he was broke. Like, from the divorce, from everything. He was broke. So I think he was trying to get some of that money back that he lost from that civil suit and from the divorce. And Because let's just face it, like, he fucked up his own bag, like, period. He was arrested for that. He was sentenced to 9 years in jail, in prison. And then he was granted parole in 2017. So now he's out of jail. You know, I'm not sure if he is even in his kid's life or if they want a relationship with him or whatever the case may be. All I know is that he can't stay off the shade room for just talking, for saying something. He always got something to say. And it's like, nobody asked you. Nobody. He always gives that. It's like, nobody asked you. I think that's actually it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed my breakdown of the video. Please let me know how you feel about this topic in the comments. I will be back with more videos, especially vlogs. Like, I have a vlog coming up very soon, so please stay tuned for that. I know the videos have kind of slowed down a little bit, but I'm trying to get things going. I'll give like a little update too in my new vlog coming soon, so just stay tuned for that. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Let's get this channel up this year, and let's do this. It's Ombre Alert. Make sure you like, comment below, and subscribe to this channel. You know what to do. Meet me in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.